Hey, what's up? Ian from PHMinis. This is a showcase video of Thorin, Oakenshield and Company. So from obviously the Hobbit films recently, again recently, a few years ago now, at the time I'm recording this, they released the Hobbit Trilogy. So I've got to say, and I think I've said it in some of my other Hobbit videos, I'm not as big a fan of the Hobbit films as I am of the Lord of the Rings ones. I think the Hobbit book itself was probably less pages than even one of the Lord of the Rings films, which is obviously comprising it, it's part of two books that make up each one of the three films. And I'm not as big a fan of The Hobbit. I think the Lord of the Rings is one of the most successful, fantasy film, all that sort of stuff. I think they saw the popularity and success of that, and basically tried to recreate it with The Hobbit, and it didn't happen, which is fine. It didn't work, but I think there was a lot more. It was the CGI and everything, the production values and stuff were higher, and I still really enjoyed it. I just think it was more like an adaptation of the books or something. Like the same rough things happened. It didn't take too many liberties with the story. There was some things that just didn't happen in there. That added characters in and stuff like that. But overall, I think they did a really good job, and all the dwarves in particular. They look cool. The miniatures are awesome. They did a really good job, and I think they really concentrated in on that sort of element of it. The backstory and Erebor and finding the Arkenstone and all that sort of stuff. That was the striking part of the movies and stuff for me. But at the same time, lots and lots of those things were actually true to the books as well. And so I'm sure there's things that happen in the films that aren't in the books, and vice versa. I'm not annoyed or anything, but certainly the book was much shorter, and so they took a few more liberties. Anyway, the miniatures, super cool. So there's 15 guys, including Bilbo, Thorin Oakenshield, Ori Nori Dori, Oin Gloin, Biffa Boba Bomber, Gandalf. I've forgotten loads more. I can't remember all. But it's cool just from a certain element, especially being a Lord of the Rings fan, that there's Gloin, who is Gimli's father, obviously. Pretty sweet, and it's cool to see him in miniature form and in the books, and then Balin as well. Balin and Dwalin are there. Of course, they find Balin's too in Khazad-dûm, don't they? In the Lord of the Rings. So the box itself was I think it's £30 from Games Workshop, and I got them for £25 from Element Games. And so for basically 15 miniatures, they're all characters, all heroes, in this Middle Earth strategy battle game. For them, for £25 is really good. It's really cheap. And I think similar to the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring box set, there's the 4 hobbits and then 5 characters like Boromir, Gandalf, Gimli, Legolas, Aragorn. Those boxes represent a fantastic value for money, and then you can split them up and use them in different ways. So for example, they're really not very competitive, but you can use each one of these models in the Middle Earth strategy battle game, and they come to, I think, just over 1,000 points. So for £25, you've got a 1,000-point army, and I don't think there's a cheaper way. You can get stuff on eBay, I imagine, really cheap. You could probably loads of people sell Uruk-hai scouts and the pikemen that you got free with that battle magazine back in the day. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's ways to do it. But in terms of new miniatures, the Hobbit miniatures are actually quite expensive. And the Champions of Erebor box set, which is these guys, but after they've reclaimed Erebor, is £80. And I really don't know why. I know it really annoyed a lot of people online as to why they were so expensive, because I'm really not sure. But I think these ones in particular, they're just super cool. And I think the 1,000 points for £25 is just really cheap. Anyway, so I don't think it'd be very competitive. I don't think you'd win all that many games, but they are all heroes, and so I don't know how that necessarily work. I think a good idea would be to just if people are selling these individually, or you just want a Gandalf or something, it's always good to get this box, and then you can set up an army using a few of the dwarf heroes and get a couple of boxes Grim Hammers and things like that, and you've got yourself an army. So that's it. I was impressed actually that you get a couple of weapon options in these. Lord of the Rings is sort of notorious for not having weapon options in the box, which it's not notorious in a bad way. So with Thorin Oakenshield, you get a choice of a double-handed sword or the sword and the actual Oakenshield, which is kind of cool. So it's on his left arm. And then Bilbo comes with a choice of a walking stick or a little. He's got Sting. So again, super cool. And you pay a little bit extra for Sting as well, so it's a bit better on WYSIWYG. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. They're all painted really, really nice. They've sold at this point. I'm posting them out today. So really fun. They took me days and days to paint basically, but I had a really good time because I said each one of them's like a character in his own right, and so I wanted to really do them justice. I wanted to paint them really well, and send them out. So that's it. That said, super fun and at really, really good value because in terms of like the Hobbit miniatures, they have a tendency to be very expensive, and so this is just the complete opposite. Like I said, I think it's 1,010 points for 15 miniatures. Gandalf's got some awesome rules. They've all got. I mean, there's so much might. Like, it might be a decent army. I don't know, to be honest. Like, if you manage to get close to somebody, I think it'd be a decent army. Otherwise, like the 5-inch move, no cavalry, and all that sort of stuff, you get shot to hell, stuff like that. But anyway, that's it. So there's more pictures of these on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram.com/Powerhouse Miniatures, at Powerhouse Miniatures on Facebook and Instagram. Sorry, and that's it. So thanks for watching.